Hi, everybody. Have a happy, wonderful afternoon, Saturday thing, whatever. Welcome to Champions of Eclypsia. We're back again this week with our stalwart friends in our world of perpetual night, for lack of a better term. Last week, we found some artifacts, found some things, found a new person. Petra made a friend-ish. But Einor has a like what we would normally associate with making a ladder out of sheets to climb out of your window, only all his knots happen to be books trailing around behind him. Maud got to sift through the ashes last week, figuratively and literally. Rolf, our lovely barbarian, was very much just herding cats, kinda. And Flint thinks he's talking to his dead mom.
Oh, also,
we're just gonna leave that there.
There's a secret path member here.
Yes,
I mean a secret path member. You mean is there a secret fate weaver? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. The guardian of the path, but you know what
I mean, that could be, but we'll get into that, a little later, perhaps. Let's go around the horn for a minute. Noir, how are you on this fine fine Saturday?
I'm mad
Discussing all things X-Men.
I'm mad suspicious. I'm glad you asked. No, hi everybody. I'm Noir. I'm playing Petra. I'm feeling pretty good this morning. I took myself a little bit of a nap. I'm cooking myself a big fat dinner, and I'm trying to see which one of my friends here hide some secrets. I'm looking at you, Ralph.
I
think it's you.
I mean, place your bets, folks. Place your bets. Up next, as we go around. There we go. Yep. Al, how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. Hello, everyone. I'm Al Stover. Alice writes on Twitter. Probably started in the chat already. We have an Idle Champions code, so don't forget to redeem that today.
Yes. Every week there's a new one, friends. Every week there's a new one. All right. And fresh out of Lightspeed and joining us this afternoon, Jay, how you doing, bud? How's that hyperdrive?
The hyperdrive is working fine. It's definitely going on full speed. So looking forward to it. It's for a lot of games this weekend for me, and I'm loving it. So I'm doing well. Hi, everyone. I'm Jay, also known as Neophet3 on the socials. You can find me. And today I'm playing Rolf, your barbarian cat herder. Basically kind of the leader, not really the leader, just the cat wrangler, veteran of the group. So barbarian of with some secrets, possibly.
He's got some things coming up. Don't worry about that. He's got some things coming up. And Joshua, how you doing today, bud?
Doing fantastic. I love the fact that apparently I'm the only one who doesn't have secrets, and that's the truth. Yeah, that's what it is. No, I'm doing great, loving it. Beautiful day, beautiful time to play.
All right. Ravenna, you beautiful queen, how are you doing today?
Greetings and salutations. I am Ravenna, as you've already heard. I am doing fantastic. I cannot wait to watch the world burn.
I hope everybody brought marshmallows. Right? Because it's gonna
get lit.
It's gonna be a spicy one. All right, so friends, once more into the fray. All right, cool. So where we last left off, our group had made their way to the Grand Library of Farendel. Inside the Grand Library, they each almost seem to have taken on their own individual missions, as it were, trying to find out and look for tokens, items, books, scrolls, weapons. But some were fruitful, some weren't. Throughout the entire course of this, several key things happened to our friends. One, Maud, seeking out the census room, came across in a room of ash and cinder. In here was the census logs of the city for knowing who's who, dates of birth, records, all those things, but it was oddly burned. All of it was burned. A few things were salvageable, but not a lot. So the quest continues inside Ma's head and soul. There we go. Einor, like a kid in a candy store, found himself running around, shoving every book he could find into his knapsack, as well as tying off scarves, handkerchiefs, and whatever to drag even more books around. This is that time of we have entered a time in which the DM wishes that he would have used encumbrance rules. But here we are. Pushing on. Flint found a very interesting tome. One that has allowed him to speak to certain individuals, be it in his head, with his soul, with his heart. We don't know yet. But it is a familiar voice, a very familiar voice that he hears when looking through this book. Petra, our stalwart individual that they are, met with a very interesting individual last week. One of the few remaining paladins that existed within this city. Taryn explained to him what he was doing, why he was there, questioned what Petra was doing. Petra gave his answer, and Taryn spoke with him, not having spoken with anyone in quite some time. But as Petra's fellow party members started to close in, Taryn left, leaving Petra with an ominous warning. And Rolf, finally able to complete his mission, finally getting to the map room, has gathered the entire group into the observatory as they begin searching around, looking for the map that they could find, that they very desperately needed to retrieve for Whitesbane, to plan out further plans and further operations for the various entities that operate and move about within the Reclamation Regiment. Having found the map for the first time, seeing their continent, seeing where they are in the world, this very awe-inspiring, the world is far larger than they thought. They saw some interesting things. They saw markings where the city of Whitebane was at. They see the full outline of the Black Forest. They also see some aftermarks that are on there as if additions were added. But the key thing is they know the locations of all the major cities and all the city-states and various significant landmarks across the continent of Aloth. And so here we begin, once again, in a world of eternal darkness. Sunstones are lit about you inside the map room as you begin to look around, finding several other scrolls, maps, drawings, star charts for a now starless sky, and the grand map of Aloth. What would you all like to do?
Well, Rolf, looking at this, pulls out a dagger and starts cutting the frame, the large grand map that's 6 foot long, just cutting the edges and rolling up the large map.
Anor,
yeah.
if there's such a thing as a panic check, I need you to make it.
I don't know what that is, but it's a 13 on the die for a
you
panic
totally
check.
failed that panic check. Seeing him cut this map out of the frame.
I would say I'd start, and if you say something, I'll stop.
I don't. He's so panicked. He doesn't have he's gasping, but it's not like that. It's not like in terror, and he's not able to actually get sound out. It's just like he's just watching, and you probably don't ever hear him. And yeah.
Because I'm assuming this map has a border around it.
The map is in a frame, yes.
Yeah, in a frame.
Very much in a frame.
Yep.
But the frame in which it is in has a very interesting mechanical device attached to it. almost like you would picture like what we would picture as in like architect rule, or like an architect's desk, right? Where it's got two bars that have points that you can move it around to get very, very accurate points on the map, utilizing some sort of writing or drawing implement. But yes, you can cut the map out should you so choose to do so.
And just along the edge of the frame, just make it nice, slice, cut to have that just come out, and then just roll it up and then gather all the other maps.
I need to go around the room at the moment because the faces I'm seeing right now feel as though several reactions are being had right now. Einor, how are you doing with the Ralph cutting the map out? I know you said kind of panicked.
Due to the size of it, probably about halfway through, he's like, hold on, we might be able to fold it, or the device. Oh, I hope there's nothing on the borders behind the frame. We can just look at this before we just do that. And he'll go and he'll whip out tools, like whip out the thieves' tools and engineering tools, and start to like, are you okay? Maybe we can take care of this. Maybe we can do something with this.
Do you try to stop him from cutting out the map entirely?
Yes, but
I'll
it would probably
stop.
be about halfway through. Yeah, it'd probably be.
So like the top is completely done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm about to start on the side. I'm like, it's easier this way.
But there's more function to this entire thing that we can learn from that would be useful for taking it back if we can get it. But let's take a look at it before we resort to cutting.
Well, you've got 5 minutes. Figure if the whole thing can come out of the frame. Otherwise, we got to get it out of the frame.
Okay, and he very quickly goes, and then he like glances over, having seen Petra actually be better at picking locks than him. He's like, Petra, can you help me with this device to figure out if we can compress it down? Very pleadingly, like looking at Petra.
Yes, I could help you.
Perfect. And then he turns around and he goes.
One of the things that Petra is kind of laser focusing in on the map is if he can see on the map where what he's looking for would be, the information that he found from the book. Like just a region or a location, because I do know this map had more locations on it than we're accustomed to. If that is a thing that he might be able to scope.
Yes. What specifically?
The item that he's looking to acquire. That's what he's trying to see. So basically, if the location is in the book, he's trying to see it on the map.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough. All right, cool. So trying to give a quick glance, right? Because you're not really taking time to really study everything in the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
At a quick glance, flipping through, you notice there are 3 cities, right, that are mentioned several times. Right? Just looking through quickly, you're like, yep, it says New York about 30 times. It says San Francisco about 40 times, right? You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, oh, okay. And then you look at the map, right? You see one of technically you see all 3 cities. However, only one of those cities doesn't have an X through it.
Interesting. And what is it that you needed assistance with?
This device is made for accuracy, for holding the map and be able to pinpoint and measure distance perfectly. I'm trying to see if there's a way that it folds up for travel or easier movement. or how we just pull the map out and still somehow disassemble the device, and then we can put it back together later.
I will give this thing a look over, see if we can figure this out.
Okay.
Same. What is that going to be?
So you have the option, right?
Mhm.
You can either look individually, or one of you can perform the help action and help the other one to give them advantage on the particular roll as they kind of try and pull this thing apart.
And
What you're going to be looking at for
sorry.
this, what
sorry.
you're going to be looking at for this is either a sleight of hand, right? Because you're dealing with something kind of delicate,
Okay.
and kind of, fragile, so to speak, or I would allow you to use probably the closest thing to like academics that I could think of would be like a history roll, to, like, oh, this is what cartographers use, kind of thing. I took a class on it one time at community, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
type deal. So whichever route you wish to go, I will allow you to take whichever one.
Einor is a history specialist, and I lean towards asking for help and getting assistance from using the history approach.
Okay.
Petra's gonna walk over to him and kind of see that he's taking charge with the history roll.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of pat him on the shoulder, which will be my guidance.
Nice.
And
Okay. Do you want to perform the help action, or do you want to give him guidance?
ooh, I can't do both.
If you perform a help, he gets
the
advantage. If you guidance, then he just gets the guidance
1d4. You know what? Because of what he's about to say, I think we're gonna go with guidance instead. And he's going to say,
Good.
"Don't be so quick to doubt your own ability." Pat him on the shoulder and walk away.
All right, that's a 16 on the die with a 4 on the guidance, so that's 20 with a plus 7 from history, so a total of 27.
Okay. All right.
He feels inspired by Petra, and like, you know what? Yeah, I got this. Like, and he's like, he starts to see this. He sees it. Einor sees it as light coming from Petra and sharing that motivation, and that inspires Einor even more for that 27 total.
Okay. So you're looking at it. You and Petra go to work on this thing, and you're like, okay, look, here's a releasing mechanism. Here's a little bit of this. Here's a little bit of that. And we can kind of start to take this apart, but it's not going to be fast, right? You realize that it's not going to be fast. It's going to take a little bit of time, probably about 10, 15 minutes to safely remove this map from this basically mechanical cartographer's table. While you are doing that, Rolf, what are you doing? You're muted, that's for sure.
Yep, because someone's got to do it
every game.
Every game. So Ralph is just kind of sitting there watching, just looking, just kind of waiting. Did you figure it out?
Yeah,
you got it.
It'll take me a little bit, but we can get this whole thing safely. Give me 15 minutes.
All right, you got 6 or 12. He'll give you 12. Anyways, and he kind of goes over to and looks at some of the other maps and starts collecting stuff in this area.
Okay. Are you searching for anything in particular?
Just something that would be appropriate for knowledge for the reclamation regiment maps.
Okay.
Any addition, like going above and beyond the map information, but anything specific that might be sensed valuable for like actually anything he can any map or scroll he can get his hands on that might be
Okay.
appropriate.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. We'll use. We're going to use, well, because we don't really have a scrounging type role. You know what I'm saying? For the purpose of this, we'll use a sleight of hand as our scrounging, right? You're kind of scrounging around, you're looking around, you're kind of trying to grab things and sift through things without necessarily breaking other things at the same time, because everything is older, right? It's old. It's not, in the best condition in many cases.
Yep. All right. Yeah, that's not going to go very well. That's a 5. So
There's a lot of stacks of paper and some books and this weird spindly thing. Yeah. Flint, what are you doing?
All right. Remembering the person Petra said they met earlier, Flynn is going to kind of look out the hall and see if them, that the ghost daddy, or if anybody else is coming.
Okay.
Coming our
All
way.
right. So you look out in the hallway, right? And I need you to make me a quick perception check.
Okay. That's an 8.
Okay. All right. You don't see anything per se. Well, correction. You see, but don't hear what appears to be the last little bit of a tail, a reptilian tail, go around and a corner.
Okay. What color? Is it green, or they're not good that good of a look at it?
Blue.
Blue. I'm going to look back at everybody else, and
everybody else is kind of involved in what they're doing.
Yeah, he doesn't like to mill about it. He's gonna go, I guess, walk toward it. Toward that blue tail.
You are going to leave the room.
Actually, you know what? He's not. He's gonna stand where he's at. He's just gonna keep looking in that direction.
Okay. Maud, what are you doing as you're seeing Petra and Einor start to disassemble this frame? Rolf is looking at some of these documents and various trinkets around like they are just, like he's performing brain surgery. What are you doing?
Well, first off, Maud was watching Einor humorously as Rolf was cutting the map out. That horror factor that was coming from him was too delicious not to observe. And then watching the process of help while she's looking at the romance novel that she picked up.
Okay.
Because of what she found, that Nat 1 last session. And then she's seen Rolf and he's kind of, in that frustrated state. So it's gone to where she's kind of walked over near him and is deciding to look herself.
Give me a perception check, please.
Oh, that is not bad. 24.
24. All right. So as Rolf is sifting around the papers, he's taking a degree of care in what he's doing. He obviously respects the fact that these are some older items. He doesn't know what's what and what could be useful and what may not be useful, right? However, right, as he's doing this, you catch a glint of something underneath one of the stacks as he's sifting through them.
Ooh. I'm going to go and I kind of nudge Rolf and I point.
What?
What's that?
I don't know. I don't see it. What do you see?
And
she goes to grab it, right? And she pulls out what appears to be an odd looking compass.
Interesting.
That it is.
Do you grab it out, Maud?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you're holding it in your hand, right? This compass is more of a almost globe-like. So you have two rings, as like, you know what I'm saying, that are like this,
Mm-hmm.
and a single rod going through the center, as well, and then it's got its directional arrow that is on the center rod. As you're holding it, it's spinning 360 degrees, not fast, not slow, just spinning.
Odd.
Interesting.
What is it, Maud?
It's some type of compass, I think. Rather fancy.
It has a lot of very like ornate workings in it. I mean, this looks like this is expensive and had a lot of craftsmanship put into it. Rolf, do you take the item, or you just kind of like look at it while?
No, I'm just kind of looking at it for a second, and then I just like, well, finders keepers, I guess is the adamant. Hopefully this one doesn't do any issues.
Hope. And she at the mention of that, hope this doesn't cause any more incidences. She takes that 2-foot step back away from Rolf.
And it stops spinning and it points in a direction.
Ralph is still steering from that nerve jolt that you did last session.
I'm gonna look where it points.
It just points out the window.
I'm gonna go look out the window. I just want to see if there's anything that might give me any.
It just continues to point out the window that's facing towards the west.
And while away from people, it's like, do you know anything about this?
Looks like a compass to me.
What kind?
The kind that leads you places.
She is then going to put it up.
Okay. Make a note. Best cast item. No, I'm sorry. No, what's that? No. All right. So as you guys are sifting around, looking around, sifting through, you pull the map out. As you finally get the map released, you realize that the map itself is not actually on paper or parchment. It is on some sort of fabric type material.
Having grown up around fabric and having a like seamstresses for a mother, that's not exactly what she, but yeah, that do I recognize the fabric? Is it something that's familiar?
It is something that would be used for the creation of a tapestry or a wall mural, not just something, not just almost more canvas like than actual like cloth, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. All right. I just as I'm starting to work on it, I call Maud. I'm just like, Maud, come here for a second. I need your expertise. And I point to and I start rubbing the corner of it as I'm kind of pulling it up, and I go, how long do you think this took to put together? What do you think it's made out of? Or what can you tell me about this?
And she saunters over, and there's a little bit of an eye roll of I need your expertise. And then she kind of looks at it. How long would I think that this would have taken? Do I need an investigation check or
No, you basically like this is I mean it's old world canvas, so like the material itself would have probably taken, several months to make this much of it. But it's not something that's particularly difficult to create, like that type of material, just that it's very time consuming. So if you're going to put something on this type of material, it is one of those like very important things are put on this kind of material because they have to be able to stand the test of time.
Well, it took several months to make the material itself. It's meant to stay.
And I point up to where Roth had cut it off and just kind of quietly just go, if he next time he gives you a hard time, remind him that he just wasted a good couple of weeks of work with 30 seconds of being over eager.
Indeed.
I would like to look at the two cities with the X's on them.
Yes.
Were the X's marked or carved?
Carved.
This is going to be dumb, but I'm determined to make this useful in some way. I am proficient with carpenter's tools. Can I try to gauge what may have been used to carve the X's into this? And then I just want to look around the room to see if I can find that implement.
Your carpenter's tools won't necessarily come into play per se, but I get what you're going for, right? The markings that you see right on there would be like as if they were made in haste, but in the sense of not basically to market, for lack of a better term, with something sharp.
Okay.
You would definitely know that it was it has the same texture / feeling as, when a serial killer carves the eyes out of a picture on something kind of thing, right?
Okay,
like it's got that kind of,
All right. In that case, I'm just gonna, while everybody's doing their thing, he's just looking around the room for any clues as to why those two places were marked, what they were marked with. He's laser focused on that aspect.
Okay.
That alone.
Okay. You don't. I'm not going to make you roll for this particular thing. You don't necessarily find anything that indicates why those were etched out specifically, like amongst the documents that are there, or what have you, right? But what you can decipher, right, is that basically one mark was made and then the next one was made significantly later.
Okay. That's not great. Oh yeah, that's all he's doing. He's just kind of in that whole time.
Flint, give me a perception check, will you?
Yeah. Oh, that's better. 21.
All right. You catch something out of the corner of your eye outside of one of the windows. You see everybody kind of looking at the map, dealing with the map. You're kind of, I don't want to say you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs, but you're more or less just kind of on guard because they're kind of doing their thing, and this isn't necessarily your thing so much. Rolf is obviously trying to help. Emphasis on trying. But you notice out of one of the crap, I can't think of the word.
Windows.
They're not windows. They're the freaking arrow slits that archers would use.
Okay.
Right? That, that cross or whatever that archers would have, right? So they could fire arrows out of it because this is like a defensive position almost. You notice looking out of them, you see a faint glint of something, almost as if it looks like a flame is going off across the courtyard.
As he sees this, he looks at everyone and he just says, hey, there's something going off here. Looks like there's a fire over there. And I don't think they can hear him, but he'll, I guess, kind of shout to the people across, like, hey, you, what are you doing?
You shout across. Your voice bellows and echoes across this courtyard as if this courtyard has not heard volume of like this in decades. Your voice carries. Your voice just reaches across. The flame flickers, continues. And you swear you hear the faint sound of steel on steel.
What?
What the hell are you doing, Flint?
Flint!
There's something outside. It's steel on steel.
But you don't have to shout. You just gave away our position.
Thank you, Maud. Thank you.
Well, they gave away theirs.
That's not the point.
Grab your stuff. We're out of here.
Do I get the map completely? Do I get the map and its
You do.
container all compressed down?
You do. So basically, right, what you find, right, you find a large leather case. All right. And you look like you have a 1985 business proposal shoved in a giant leather case tube, right? And it is like strapped to you. Now, given your size, right, this sucker is sticking off either side of you. You will have to turn sideways to get through a door, more than likely. Just letting you know.
I'm good with that.
All
I
right.
thought
Yep.
paladins were supposed to be smart.
They didn't think things through. And Flint says, well, that might be harder too, because there's also something in the hallway.
What?
What?
I saw a blue reptilian. It looked like a tail.
Hand axe comes out.
And he looks at Ralph. He's like, if you were paying attention, you probably would have seen it. And Flint says that annoyed because, like, and so he's just like, he goes in the hallway.
Are we ready?
Okay. It's okay, darling.
Yep.
They're simply
I-
the second borns. They don't know any better.
I mean, I could stay here forever, but we have what we need for our mission. And he like does like a rough, like, we have what we need for our mission, sir. Yeah. And he's like ready and hurried to go.
Eyes on guard. Let's get out of here. Keep your eyes open. Call quietly to the group if you see anything. No more yelling our position. Let's make our way out of here.
All right.
Be good with that, everyone?
All right. So you guys are going to try and make a quiet exit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Picture is moving as normal.
Got it. All right. So are you making slow and deliberate movements, right? To avoid making a bunch of sound?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to make a roll for that particular one. So you guys make your way back through the library, tracing your footsteps, going along, right? Petra, I need you to give me a perception check, please.
Let's go, baby. How's the 18 do you?
18 does you just fine. You guys make it down to the front door and making your way out. Petra, you're the last one out, and you make a quick over-the-shoulder glance. As you look up, approximately the third floor up, you see a familiar figure, and it simply nods its head to you as you go to exit the library with this feeling of, I hold you to your oath.
I nod back.
As you go, the doors almost without assistance close behind you, and you hear the whirring mechanics of locks.
I'm sure that's temporary. We can get back in when we need to in the future.
Sure.
Yeah, but for now,
Now that you guys
which
are
way?
now
He's
that you are on the courtyard, you hear what appears to sound like metal on metal. And you all now see that flicker of flame, the faint flicker of flame, alliteration, across the courtyard. You can't quite make out figures just yet, but you can hear it and you can see the little light coming from it.
Gotta head in that direction.
Wait. Move
No.
around to the side.
He just keeps walking.
Flint's gonna follow Petra.
Shouldn't we go round? And like,
Yeah,
I'm
we
whispering-
should.
I'm whispering very like, can you whisper hard at somebody? Like I'm whispering hard at Flint. Like, can we get him to go around? I look at Roth like,
What are we doing?
follow? Do we follow?
Follow to the side and watch him die.
I'm gonna try to duck and take hiding positions as we go, like intentionally trying to stealth
Okay.
behind everyone.
All right, cool. So as you're moving along, I need those who are making stealth rolls or stealth movement to give me a quick stealth check.
That would be a 10.
9.
10.
Right. So, Anor, give me a quick athletics check.
Okay. 17.
Okay. So, while you kick a handful of rocks, causing a bunch of noise, and your map case snags on something, you still manage to keep your footing and you don't actually fall flat on your face. Maud and Rolf, you just happen to step on a twig that's a little bit too loud as you're moving along and whatnot. Meanwhile, Flint and Petra are just like, let's go, as they are making their way across the courtyard. Rolf and Petra, as you guys are going to be the first ones to get there,
Flint
Flint.
and Petra.
or Flint, sorry. Flint and Petra are the first ones to get there because you're making a straight line versus trying to curve around. You come across an interesting scene. You come across a real live sword across an anvil. You see the fires of a forge faintly lit, very faintly lit. And you see two what appear to be apparitions of blacksmiths hammering in sync on this sword that is laying across this anvil.
Oh, I see a piece of rest has been denied to you as well.
They move in such a way as they don't even hear what you say. With each hammer fall, you hear the clang, clang, clang. And as you get closer, it's clang. And then you see the sparks hit off of the sword where the hammer would fall across this sword.
Well, I hope you're all very ready to facepalm. I grabbed the sword.
That's fine.
You grab the sword.
Flint's like, this is your domain.
Okay.
There we go. I'm so sorry.
All good.
All right.
And I'm picturing Ralph just as he's going around, sees this and just that like That look of like,
No.
Yes.
It's too late.
it's cursed. It's too late. I'm going to lose another one. It's just going through his mind.
So Petra, you
Yeah.
extend your hand,
Uh-huh.
gripping the hilt,
Yeah, dude.
going to pull the sword back from the anvil.
Mhm.
The hammers miss and they hit the anvil, and the anvil sets off a spark. And at that, the ghosts turn their heads to look at you. Their eyes begin to glow white, filling with light. And within mere seconds, I need you all to make me because this is completely reactionary, dex save.
It was on 19 and then it slipped to the 1. It was on 19, but it
Flint got a 17.
I got a 1. Story dice.
Okay.
18 for Rolf.
18. Okay.
15 for Einar.
Mog got an
19.
18. Okay. Einar, what'd you get?
15.
15. Flint, what'd you get?
Sorry, 17.
All right. Petra, you got
Yeah.
a 1.
Yep.
Okay. You are under the effects of blind for the next 2 rounds
Oh, that's
as the sword emits the spell Daylight. And you are blinded by the light. Everybody roll initiative.
Okay.
me and D&D Beyond are about to straight up fight.
All right. Get him.
I'm gonna find you, Adam Bradford, and his hands on sight.
Okay. All right. So, all right. What do we got for initiative? Starting at 20. You got what do you got,
20.
Rolf? 20.
20. Roll a 19 plus 1.
All right. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. 13. Flint is at a 13. 12. 11.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus. Okay. What did you get, Maud?
8.
Einar? 5.
5.
Petra,
Rolled a 1.
what do you got?
I got a 10.
Okay.
Double digits, double digits.
All right. All right. So Petra at a 10. Maud, you said you had an 8.
Yes.
Maud is at an 8. And Einar at a 5. All right.
Such light, much brightness, am wowed.
All right. So
I do
at
picture
this
Anya like that.
light being emitted out, the ghosts that vanish in their places rises up this corpse-like cadaver. It almost shoots up out of the ground. 1, 2, and then back behind the forge, a third pops up. Armored, covered in spikes, but also in rust holes. Long white hair, skin pulled back, teeth exposed, nose missing, eyes of pure black. They begin to move and close as if singly focused on Petra and the light that what he holds in his hand is now emitting. Rolf, you're up.
All right. Do I recognize these undead creatures as a particular species as I'm running forward towards them.
Make a nature check.
All right. It is a favorite enemy, so I do get advantage, I believe, on this. 11.
11's good enough. You recognize, because these are a kind of common enemy that you encounter out here, like in the sticks, in the wilds, what have you, right? They're whites. There are 3 whites.
Okay. So at that point, identifying what they are, I'm like, Bertha. And I grab the giant battle axe off my back as I'm rushing towards them.
Okay.
Now, here's the question. How far away am I? I know I'm moving at least 30 feet, but will that get me into...
You will move 30 feet to close, right? This round.
Okay. With that, I'm using my bonus action as he's going, no, I knew it. And just kind of like yelling. And suddenly as he's running forward, his shoulder just pops up a little bit. His muscles just start to just grow as his veins and just starting to get enraged. His eyes, no one can see because they're behind him, but his eyes turn just color. But uniquely is that his hair starts to grow a little bit more. His broad chest, his shoulders, there's patches of hair that start to grow a little bit more as I rage. And I use my action to dash to move another 30 feet to get me in front of Petra and these things.
Okay.
And just yell at them, no!
All right. Okay. So you move to intercept. White 1 begins to move up, right? White 2 moves up as well to close to Petra. You are in the way. However, they don't move past you, but they do not seem to acknowledge that you even exist.
Okay.
And the third white begins to move out to flank on an open side to come over to Petra. Again, not even acknowledging your existence as they begin to move. Flint, you are next.
Okay. Seeing the closest white to Petra, Flint will take out his sword and he'll make an attack.
Okay. All right, so you will use your full movement to close and make an attack?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Nat 20.
I mean, that'll do stuff. There you go, folks. Nat 20.
And I'm going to do Divine Smite. So,
buddy. So in Champions of Eclypsia, for those of you who are just tuning in, Nat 20s work a very fun way in my worlds because heroes are heroes for a reason. So a Nat 20 is automatically double damage, then add your bonus and whatever other bonuses you're going to add to it. So, Flint, what'd you do?
Let's see.
Nothing better than Nat 20 on a smite.
Yeah, right.
12, 14, sorry. So 26 magical slashing.
Okay.
And then radiant, and then 22 radiant damage.
Okay, so 26 and 22 for a grand total of 47.
Yep.
You slice one down in one fell swoop and it drops.
Okay.
No longer moving.
That's some of that good.
All right. Next is let's see here. Petra. Or no. Yeah, Petra, you are next. You are blinded.
Yes, I am. He is going to tell his comrades to look away, and then he is going to yell, "Do you think that I need my sight to fulfill my duty?" And he's going to use his bonus action to do Necrotic Shroud, which means that everyone within 10 feet of him needs to make a charisma saving throw, or they're going to be frightened of him until the end of his next turn.
Rolf, yes, you are making a saving throw. All right.
So
Okay. All right. At this point, I need it to be known that the light that was emanating from Petra's weapon that he had picked up is no longer there. It has dulled down.
Yeah, right now, Petra is emanating darkness as two hand-shaped wings, skeletal hands, called sprouting out of his back like wings. And then he is going to say, your cycle of life ends here, whether you want it to or not. And he is going to channel divinity to turn undead.
All
So
right.
that means that all undead within 30 feet of him needs to make I believe this is a wisdom saving throw. Yeah, wait. As an action, I'm sorry, I have to read it. As an action, you present your holy symbol, you speak as prayer. Each undead that can see or hear you 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
If the creature fails its saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute.
Okay. Both of them fail their saving throws and begin to retreat. They don't run, but they retreat. They begin to back up. But it's almost as if they're forced to back up.
Yeah, let's get it going. And that's my entire turn. That's all I can do.
All right.
So what happens when you fail the saving throw of that negative chronic?
You're frightened of him. You have to get away from him. You try to make as much distance between you and him as possible.
So suddenly I feel this negative, horrible energy behind me, and I get scared.
So,
Like right now,
with a little bit of liberty, if you don't mind, Noir.
Absolutely.
Rolf, you feel this overwhelming, creeping cold sensation that comes over your back. Keep in mind, you're slightly hulking out a little bit, and you look over, and it's as if the very visage of the angel of death is standing there behind you, holding this oddly shaped sword, and you have an instinctive reaction to want to get away from it.
Got it. I got an idea.
All right. Maud.
So I'm trying my best not to look at Petra. I do see that we have our spooky ghost buddies that are trying to move away.
They are very much backing up.
Mm-hmm.
And for clarification, they're not actual ghosts. They are corporeal beings.
Yes,
okay.
I know they're corporeal. I'm just calling them ghost buddies because it's fun.
Okay.
You know, so I kind of see the distance, you know, I step up and around, and I'm making the mod deciding feature, and we're going to angle, and we're going to do burning hands. I love me some burning hands.
Let's go.
Hold on. It's weird. But yeah, it's instantaneous.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah.
Does it require a touch attack?
It's range self.
Range self?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just have to make sure that I get in like an angle. It's not a touch attack. It's just burning hands.
It's a 15 by 15 square, right?
Yeah.
15 by 15.
Originating from
Cone. Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I need. All right.
15-foot cone.
Okay.
It's not a lot of damage because I rolled a 1 on one of the damage dice, but it's 7 fire damage.
All right. What's the resist?
There is a save. Why is this being picky today?
Because it's D&D Beyond.
It's not posting like it should. Because it's just my spell.
It's your spell DC. It's your spell save.
Yeah, it's my spell save 14.
14. All right. So first one, fail. Second one, fail. All right. So how much damage does it do?
7.
7 points per. All right.
Okay.
All right. Next, Einor.
Is there one specifically that is closest to either Petra first and or Mod?
No, not. I mean, the one that's closest to Mod is actually kind of close to Ralph because they're almost like backing up together, almost like as in everybody's kind of identified Petra as the new major threat. So like everybody's like, as they begin to back up from them. So technically, the one that is not engaging but near Rolf would be the one that is closest to you.
Okay. I'm going to reach back, and the hand drum that's on my hip, I start to tap it in rhythm and start to say, you've done nothing but become worse in death, and it's time for you to rest, and whisper vicious mockery to it. Needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. DC
13.
Fail. Pass. All right. So
no, it's only against one.
Oh,
it's only
okay.
against the first
Sorry,
one.
man. The one. Okay. How much damage does it do? It failed.
4 points of psionic damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack roll before the end of its next turn.
Okay. All right.
And then I will. Yeah, I'll end it there, staying 55 feet away from where the action is.
Okay. All right. Cycling back up to Rolf. You are kind of moving back almost in parallel with this white that's next to you as you are both kind of fixated on this new visage that is Petra at the very moment.
Allow me to paint this picture. As suddenly I look back, I get scared for a second, which is very unusual as I'm raging. And I rush and turn to face Petra as I have this corpse next to me on the left. Like I just moved and joined its ranks for a second as I'm looking at Petra, like, what the hell is that? And then I look at the corpse for a second I'm right next to, because I moved right up to it. Not sure if there's a attack of opportunity on that or not.
I would say sure. Yeah, I'll say
as he moves, like I said, I'm moving toward, and I'm getting up right next to him as if we're a battle line up next to this corpse.
Okay.
It says attack of opportunity at disadvantage.
Yep.
A bad guy is supposed to be attacking him.
Yep.
What'd you get?
Oh no, you're attacking opportunity on me.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Are you doing attack after two? So since I moved up to right up next to him,
my brain just shut off for a minute right there. I was just like,
Okay. It's okay. It happens.
huh? Oh yeah, right. Okay.
I just love this picture of Rolf backing up into this, and he felt the fire slightly.
Okay,
he missed the cone.
Here we go. Does a 23 hit?
Yeah, 23 is going to hit me.
Okay. For 10 points of slashing damage.
Ouch.
If they're turned, they can't attack.
They can't attack you.
Oh. No, wait, hold on. Let me double check. I'm so sorry.
Is it everybody, or is it they can't attack you?
It's everybody.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So what I picture then is Ralph runs up right.
But if you attack them, then they can attack you.
Yep. So as Ralph gets up right next to him, turns to face Petra, and this corpse of a wraith is right next to him. He just kind of looks over at the wraith, looks at Petra, looks at the wraith, and he's just swings right next to him and just swings at the wraith with his axe.
So to bring it into perspective, folks, what we're seeing here is the Hulk is punching Thor during the first Avengers movie at this point in time. All right. So, all right.
Does a 17 hit?
Yes, it does.
All right. That is going to be a total of 15 points of magical slashing damage as I bury the magical great axe into the side of it. And then I'm facing it going, and I'm starting to get more.
As the axe connects, the body, the wraith just kind of collapses over the axe and is kind of like stuck on it for a minute, but it is no longer moving at all.
Okay.
Our remaining wraith is kind of circling, trying to, like, he's retreating, but he's not. He's making sure that he goes back to the very, very edge that he can, but still almost determined to stay there. As it's like almost brooding back and forth like a caged animal, like waiting to strike. And then it's Flint.
Okay. Kind of how far away is this wait for me?
It'd be about 30 feet from you.
All right. You know what? I'll move. Feeling super confident. Flint's gonna run up and he's gonna make another attack.
Okay.
That is a 24 to hit.
Hits.
Okay. For 14 points of magical slashing.
Okay. You bring your sword down on this particular wight, and it literally cleaves him in twain as he drops to the ground.
Okay.
At this point, because y'all are a bunch of badasses, all right, you are out of combat.
Can I
As
see?
the three have felled. Your vision begins to unblur, and you are once again able to start seeing. And then you look down to your hand, Petra, and you see this very ornate looking falchion in your hand.
I would like to, if everybody could spare the 10 minutes ritual cast detect magic.
Are you going to do it right here?
Yeah.
If I see him starting to do that, I go, I can fully identify that thing if we can get back to town first.
Do it.
Okay. And I take the falchion and I add it.
It doesn't leave his hand.
Oh.
Like you pull on it and it's almost as if you're trying to pull a stone from a mountain.
You hold on to it, and once we get to town, we'll figure this out.
I just grabbed the blade that apparently I can't let go of. You want me to bring it to a civilized town without knowing what it can do to the people around us. Identify it now.
We're going to move out of the area.
I don't have a pearl to identify. I don't have what I need to identify it. So let's get out of the area, then we can figure out what to do next.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
So
am I able to sheathe it?
You do.
I'm going to quickly try to unsheath it.
It does not move.
Okay. And then I just stop and like look at Petra, like I just trying.
I am going to investigate this area. He's just going to tell everybody outright.
Okay.
10 minutes was
10
minutes was great. It would have been quick in comparison to what happens now. And he's just going. He is trying to find what the hell is going on, because now he's got this thing on his back that he can't let go of.
Okay. So you're going to investigate this little area where you're at right here?
Yeah, the forge, all of it.
Okay. So it is an elven forge. You definitely can very much verify that it is an elven forge. You also are able to verify that there are what appears to be several broken versions of the weapon that you have picked up that have been discarded into like a scrap pile almost.
And then
You can make an investigation check if you so choose.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. I'm so sorry.
Maud has kind of walked up behind Petra and is just looking at it. trying
That's
to
gonna
see if
be an
there's
11.
Anything she can discern.
Okay. All right, Maud, make an investigation check. While Maud's making her investigation check, Petra, you find several both alchemical components as well as arcane components laying along the forge, as well as several jars that would not necessarily be commonplace within a forge, as you've been around them before. They look very out of place, but they also look empty. Maud.
Can I maybe argue for an arcana check? Because I'm looking specifically at the weapon that's on his back.
You can't actually see it aside from the hilt.
Dang it. Fine. Okay.
If Maud asks, can I unsheath it?
Yeah.
Does Maud
For
ask?
you, it moves and
Mhm.
operates just like any sword.
So he's just gonna
I just want to look at it, Petra. I'm just trying.
put it on the table.
Mm-hmm. All right, you set it on the table. Maud, what do you do?
17 arcana
17?
check.
Okay.
I'm also kind of trying to let you know who take a look because I know.
Forged by the blood of elves for those who sacrifice for the last city of Philandrel. That's what it says, shithead.
Forged by the blood of elves that sacrificed for the city of Philandrel.
By the blood of elves, and I go.
Yes.
I'm gonna go look at the sword. Is it written in Elvish? Is it?
Mhm.
I
You get like you instinctively like looking at it, right? Being able to speak Elvish,
Yeah.
right, and read Elvish. You say it's not Philandrel, it's Farandel. Like it's like typo. Like
Yeah.
you're like that's not what it says. It says this.
it's this city that we're
that we're in.
in. Yeah.
Congratulations, Petra. You have a cursed weapon. Or at least that's what I feel.
It could be a champion's sword. Yeah, it could be. And like it
I can't
Einor
detect magic.
says it in a way that is trying to convince himself more than anybody else.
It is a magical weapon.
School of Magic.
It is a. Hang on, let me double check that. Let me double check.
Don't say necromancy. Don't say necromancy. Don't
It's
say
not necromancy.
Oh, okay, we're okay. Don't say a champion. Don't say a champion. Don't say a champion.
It is enchantment.
Oh, fudge.
You said that there, just glancing around, you said that there was different sort of like mystical components and things here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go searching for components I might be able to use, like a pearl, commonly used for the spell Identify.
That's thinking with portals.
Make me an investigation check.
Can I hit my man with a guidance?
Sure.
Wow.
That's my guidance noise.
That's Petra's
That sounds
panic
like-
noise.
That's wonderful. I rolled a 4 on the guidance,
Yeah. How about that?
which is 3 more than the 1 I rolled on the D20.
Wow.
Okay, so that gives me a 5 plus 5, so 10 total on my investigation.
Okay. All right.
Gotta love D&D. Love D&D. Love rolls.
Gotta love it, right? Rolf, what are you doing right now?
So Ralph is just shaking his head, going, everybody's touching everything. And this is why curse and even turns, I'm looking at Maud going, I told you so. You told it. Didn't we? I was just thinking that, didn't we just? And then he is just watching, if anything is watching us and just on guarded stance to make sure nothing attacks us while all this is going around, because no one's listening to him and we're out in the open.
Okay. Flint, what are you doing?
Let's say Flynn is probably doing the same thing as Rolf is. He is not looking at everybody, shaking his head and, not upset with everybody doing their thing. Touch as much as you want, but he's gonna also keep an eye out for anyone coming, anything.
Okay. Maud, what are you doing right now?
I said my piece. I looked at Rolf. Rolf just gestured to all of me. And it's like, yeah. And who was the one that decided to say that it was okay to touch things originally and pick up stuff? I'm glad you learned that lesson, Rolf. I mean, you don't need to get all fuzzy about it.
The past. Right. Thought we were good. Anyways.
We are good.
Do you sheath it?
I sheath the sword and I go, I'm satisfied that this does not make me a threat to any location that we travel to.
Okay. Like, so did you just pick it back up and put it back, or did you flip it over or anything along those lines?
I mean, he'll do a little bit of a flourish. It's his weapon now, so he's kind of getting a feel for it, but then ultimately...
I know her. Make me a perception check real fast as you're seeing this thing flourish.
Oh, 11?
11. You catch two words on the opposite side of the blade.
Oh, show us the other side. There's other stuff on the other side.
It's like,
and now you have this ping, like there it is right there.
I'm gonna sidestep. Look at it.
Famous last words, thinking that, it's perfectly fine to bring into the city.
I don't think we're going to bring it into the city. Oh, what does it say?
You see two words written in Elvish. Light bearer.
It may actually be a champion's sword. It says light bearer on it. Light bearer. We may need to wait outside. Have you wait outside the city while I find something to help identify it. But it's.
I mean, he can keep it sheathed, can he? Like, just don't bring it out into the open.
It may have some sort of strange effect on those of weaker will that we may not want to expose to it. Words are hard.
Okay. All right. So, Rolf, where are you keeping guard from? Flint, same as you. Just in the courtyard area? Do you try to go for a higher vantage?
Flint would probably go for a higher vantage. He probably would have done that just to kind of get away from everybody.
Okay.
The opposite side of him to cover more ground.
Okay. All right. So, you guys have, while they're messing around doing their thing, Rolf scolding them like children. You two climb up to get to a little higher vantage point, and you're looking around. And for the first time, you're really kind of getting an actual scope of the city from a much higher view than from a ground view. Mm. As you're looking around, I need Flint and Rolf to make perception checks at disadvantage.
It's awesome. That first one was a nat 20, and the second one was a 5 for 7.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a 9 because of disadvantage.
Okay. All right. You guys are looking around, and tonight feels particularly dark. More so than normal. Both of you get an interesting feeling creeping up the back of your spine. And I know people will know what I mean when I say this, and hopefully you all will too. That feeling when you're outside in the dark, and out of nowhere, your cheeks pucker up, and you instinctively go, I need to get inside the house right now. I do not need to be outside right now. I need to be indoors, behind doors, locked doors. That feeling begins to creep up the back of your spine.
Ralph gets down, so we're moving now. And just looking.
As Flint will as well.
As Ralph says that, all of you hear the distant sound of horns.
Like trumpet horns?
Like trumpet horns.
We need to get inside the library.
All of you make survival checks.
How's an 11 do you?
As an 18, do you?
18, okay.
And
13.
13, okay.
19.
19, okay.
10.
10, okay, cool. Everybody at least made it 10. That's all we needed. You guys hear the sound of these, we'll say, war horns. And the ground beneath your feet begins to vibrate slightly.
Do we know what direction they're coming from?
The west.
Which is the direction we need to go?
It was the direction that the compass pointed in. It was also, it's not necessarily the direction you need to head in. White Bane is to the east of where you are at.
Okay. So we need to, so Ralph was like, let's east, get out of town. Let's get out of the city. Let's go. We've accomplished, let's move. We got our stuff. Let's get away from whatever this is.
Maud, in the back of your head, your traveling companion, as it were, you hear, run, he's coming.
Who? I mean, she's going. Who?
Garloth is coming.
You're going to have to explain it a little bit. And she's
You
just
saw him. As you all begin to move and start to making your way, make across town. How do you want to go? Keep in mind, right? Anor is loaded down with books and artifacts. You're all loaded down with books and artifacts and the map case.
I can still carry 7 more books before being encumbered. Not that I did the math, but I can grab 7 more books on the way out.
Right. And a TV is relatively light, but given size, it's freaking awkward to move around with.
I'm going to proceed cautiously, but I do have one question. It's a selfish question, but I have to ask it.
Yep.
When we walked into the library, we saw a vision of someone being beheaded.
Yep.
Did the sword used in that seem at all familiar?
Nope.
Okay. Just curious. I was afraid I might have a target on my back. I mean, I probably do, but you know. Yeah, I'm going cautiously.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I need you all to make, we're going to go nature checks this. We're gonna, well, actually, no, we'll use survival. I need everybody to make a survival check to be able to navigate this town because it is a lot of ruins. You may have gotten turned around slightly. Nobody struck me as a person to leave breadcrumbs behind.
And instead of doing survival myself, I'm going to be cautiously going through and grant bardic inspiration to Roth and follow him.
Okay.
Seeing this, I'd like to toss on a guidance to Roth. You gonna lead us on, buddy?
So what dice do I get added?
D6 from me.
D4 from me.
All right, that's being the okay. So
No pressure, but two of us are sacrificing our rolls for you.
If you roll a 1, we're gonna beat you. You know?
well, I didn't roll a 1. I didn't roll a 1,
2.
but I didn't roll great. But 18 because I am actually I wonder. I am like super proficient in survival.
You are.
I don't get advantage on it. Do I? No. So yeah. 18.
Okay. All right. So
23, by the way,
19.
mod.
And 19 for
Okay.
Flint.
all right.
8 for.
So you begin to start moving through the city, right? The city under this new stress that you have begun to feel creeping over your body. You make your way through, up and down through the streets, trying desperately to remember where was it we had the horses? Where were they at? What's going on? Oh, right. Okay. And you navigate your way through the city slowly but surely. As you're making your way through, I use that a lot. That's a crutch phrase. The vibrations sort of stop, but because there's no other sound emanating from the city itself, you can hear voices, commotion behind you. Not necessarily in pursuing you, but you also hear as if something is happening, something is going on. Do you continue down the path?
Yeah. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm
Look
going
at Petra
to-
to make sure that he's following or coming.
So we hear them going to where we just came out of.
Yes.
Man, my homie Terrence in there. Do we have like any kind of visual on what they're doing or who they
Not
even
that
are?
you can really see. It's that because it's so quiet, right? And you're inside of a, for lack of a better term, a city, right? Acoustics and sound plays a lot louder. It's a lot more for stuff to reverberate off of. So you can hear what they're doing and you can hear what's going on, and it sounds like the moving of equipment. It sounds like almost like the moving of equipment. You hear the neighing of horses. You hear, the clopping of horseshoes. You hear some shouting. You hear, the distinct sound of many people in armor, right, moving around.
But I don't hear any combat.
You don't hear any combat at all.
I wish I could have left my homie a message. All right, I'm just gonna continue following my group.
Okay. All right. As you're going, you're continuing on. Maud and Petra, I need you both to make perception checks.
I'm done with Roll 20 today. I'm done with D&D Beyond today. I rolled a 1 for a total of 6.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Wow. Natural 20.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking
So
about. Let's go.
25.
Okay. You hear in the back of your mind, no. As your traveling companion right, lets out this guttural noise in the back of your mind, and you look and you start to see the spirits that inhabit, the benign spirits that inhabit this city. And then suddenly you catch them getting pulled away, as if sucked away. They claw at the ground and buildings with ethereal fingers, not taking root, as they are pulled and sucked towards the center of town, whipping through the various alcoves, streets, and alleys, through windows, through doorways, as they are all getting pulled. And you begin to hear in your head the scream of 1,000 screams. I need you to make a Constitution save, please.
Okay. I think I know what's happening.
Ignorance is bliss.
19 on the Constitution save.
Okay. Maud, you come to a stop. While you don't necessarily fall to your knees, you very much falter in your steps for a moment as you instinctively grab at your ears, not able to hear anything around you, as you just hear these screams and hear these screams. Everybody, you notice that Maud has begun to fall back, and that she has, for lack of a better term, stopped walking.
Needs to stop.
Ralph turns around and tells the party, keep going, and goes back to Maud. And I just picture, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, Flint doesn't, he'll keep going. He'll listen.
Einor continues as well, since he has the map.
He just continues walking.
Continues forward, but he'll watch back over his shoulder.
Same.
Petra is gonna ignore the order and just go to see what the hills are off.
Petra, I need you to do me one more, with real dice, one more perception check.
1 second. All right, I'm trusting you. I'm letting you out of jail. Don't you?
He's letting him out of jail, folks.
Dun, dun, dun.
20.
Okay, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
That's why you put your dice in jail, so they learn their lesson and they come back better dice.
I ain't here to question it. Your methods are your methods. You look down, you instinctively look down at your arm as you feel something slightly tug. And that same little girl spirit that you encountered before is desperately trying to grab onto your arm before her ethereal fingers slip through your very corporeal flesh. And you hear her scream as she is sucked down the hall, down the alleyway that you are using for your exfil.
Oh, okay. Don't love that for. I'm gonna look at Maud. I would like to roll a religion check to see if I can figure out what the flurb is going on or what to do.
Go ahead. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
16. 15.
15. Okay. You've seen something similar. It is as if something's reaping souls, but not for the purpose of ushering them elsewhere.
So another perversion to the natural order of things.
They look to be being harvested almost is what you can possibly ascertain.
It's
Maud,
too much. The
The
screams.
screaming. You open your eyes to see your friends trying to check on you as you hear the screaming in your ears, in your head.
Rolf,
Ah, how do you speak?
it's
Do you have the wits about you to maintain your volume? Or are you yourself screaming to be heard?
to be honest, it is kind of screaming, trying to hear over. It's that sound and that thing where everything's loud in your head so that you're speaking above. Rolf, it's Garloff. He's here.
Ralph is. I picture as he's coming up, he's saying "Maud," but she can't hear him, and it's just like
Right.
death sign. And he's got his hands. He's just like,
It's Garloff. He's here. We need to leave. All the screaming.
The screaming
much.
stops. And it's as if you could hear a pin drop in the city.
Failed to fulfill my oath.
"We need to go," and if Maud isn't walking, Ralph will try to pick her up, but giving that quick glance is like, "You gonna fight me, or can you walk? If not, I'm picking you up."
She is gonna try and walk on her own, but
All
she's
right.
not gonna fight him.
And he's just gonna help her along, and I go back and I grab Petra, and I'm
I
like,
was about to
"We're
say, yeah, grab
we're-
Petra.
grab Petra, and we're moving now."
Okay. All right. Are we
Your
making
oath
what are we
can't be
doing?
fulfilled if you're dead.
He's laser eyed on the towel and just barely makes eye contact with Ralph.
Ralph pulls him. It's like, "You can't fulfill your oath if you're dead. We moving now. Everyone, we need to catch up."
Flynn, what do you do?
Again, after stopping, Flint continues forward.
He does?
Or obviously he can use to leave,
Mhm.
unless
Does he
something-
continue forward to the center of town? Or he continues forward along the egress.
Oh, along egress, obviously,
Okay.
Leaving.
Okay. All right, cool. As you are going to make your way out of the town, making your way. This is the last roll of the night. For your final egress roll, who's going to make it? This will be a survival check.
Petra is 110% completely compromised, and there's no hiding it on his face.
Maud
Okay.
can't do this. It's gotta be Rolf.
I
Einor.
see oh geez. Flint and I are out in front. Einor would probably fall back to Flint if Flint gives the air of confidence. Otherwise, he would. If Flint defaults to Einor would take it.
Okay.
Flint's feeling confident, kind of like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Kind of like that kid, 12-year-old. I got this. But
Yep.
So
Okay.
Survival check.
Survival.
19.
19. How do you get Petra and Maud to move? Both of them noticeably shaken in their own way about what is going on. They are seeing things, hearing things that the rest of you are not. And they both very much come across as deeply disturbed and deeply, very, very not necessarily frozen in fear, but a certain level of shock has overtaken them.
Probably seen this in the church, kind of like how maybe an EMT or a doctor or a nurse would try to like talk the patient through, I know it's hard. I know there's a lot going on right now and there's some freaky stuff, but we just have to keep moving. Once we get out of the city, we can rest and we can catch our bearings and discuss this, not, I guess, kind of taking the opposite approach of Rolf, big aggressive military leader. This is more of like a compassionate,
okay.
We have to keep going.
As you begin to get them to move and take those last few steps to get outside of the city walls where you had left your horses, which you still find, you all for a moment take a look back and you all hear the same thing emanating from that direction. I sense a believer is within the city. Hunt them. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
All right.
Kill my buddy. You gonna kill my buddy?
I didn't do nothing.
Get my ghost daddy.
You go kill my buddy?
I'm going to kill your buddy? I'm not killing your buddy.
You don't know to go kill my buddy?
You didn't know. I don't know. I don't know what's happened yet. I'm not 100% on that one. I'm not 100%.
I'm about to lose a friend.
He made a friend. He made a friend, his only friend, and now he's gone.
Oh, he did.
My friend gone.
He did.
He did.
I got cursed sword now. My friend did.
He did. No. All right, friends. Let's go around the horn once more, and we're gonna go around the horn and see how everybody's doing, what's going on, and yeah. So, Ravanya, Nikki, Maud, darling, sweetie, what do you think?
Yes,
how you doing?
Oh, this is amazing. I'm enjoying this. There's a little bit of trepidation. I'm not on the edge of my seat yet. We're getting there. We're getting close to, is it a free action to pucker?
Always a free action to pucker.
But this is getting good. So good. Again, I am Ravenya, also known as the Squishy Bear in various places. If you like our art, our lovely, lovely art, it's drawn by Brian Patterson, D20 Monkey himself. He has a t-shirt store that you could actually go and buy t-shirts, journals, coffee mugs, all that stuff. But yeah, if you ever need any work, definitely email him. He does good stuff, as you can see.
As you can see, that's right. Hope you're doing all right for sure. Joshua, how you doing?
That borderline trepidation of there's a mission to help things versus the friends that are immediately here, and is it a who outruns the bear situation, or do we all just try to slay the bear together? So it'll be fun. It'll be exciting.
Just kneecap one friend and then everybody else makes it, right? And the bear loses.
I don't have to outrun the bear. I just outrun the person in plate trying to outrun the bear, right? So no offense, Flint or Petra. Have fun.
But what if the person in plate is bigger than the bear?
Even better.
Okay.
And the person in plate's gonna come chasing you riding the bear. You left me to die.
Now I got this bear. Right?
This bear is my only friend.
Yeah, I love the introduction to our BBEG, Petra. No, excited, looking forward to it. For those who don't know me, I'm JRL Tech on a couple of socials. I'm Gintu Penguin here on Twitch. You can watch me play Phasmophobia, or follow me in Twitch or on Twitter, and see all the other things going on. I don't. Quick shout out to our sponsor, because I started playing Idle Adventures because they were sponsoring us. I'm like, I like to play the games. Idle Champions. Oh, wow.
Idle Champions.
Yep, Idle Champions.
Fail.
Wow.
Fail.
Well, that's been our last episode, everybody.
Well, yeah, it was great. Great knowing you guys all. Bye. Listen now.
But Idle Champions has been an amazing game, and I've had some interesting time at work. And Idle Champions has been a fun mobile game to help fill in some time at work. So it's
interesting time at work.
It's been sitting around stressed, waiting for good news, no news, and so yeah, Idle Champions has gotten a lot of my time this week. So it's fun.
All right.
It's fun.
All right. And Jay, how we doing, buddy?
Oh, this is awesome. It's that just watching cats, herding cats, and just watching them knock the lights and the breakables off the countertop and letting them explode and just worry. No, this is awesome because some good stuff's coming down the pipeline, I think. Okay. So yeah. Right. Yep. Cool. The feeling of that rage is gonna potentially show up. But hi, I'm Jay. I'm also known as Neopet3 on the socials, lurking in your Twitter streams and jumping in. But you can also find me tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Miniature Domain for Shadowport Adventures Season 2 Part 2 as we continue our Star Wars RPG Edge of the Empire series. Also, you can catch me on Wednesdays at the Emporium for the Wayward Gamer or Emporium Wayward Gamer for my Shadowport, it's an S. Saltmarsh Legends.
Saltmarsh. Yeah, there you go.
Legends of Saltmarsh is on a Tuesday.
Oh, my bad.
Saltmarsh Legends are on Wednesday. It's a combined kind of one's a city, one's the village. 150 years between, with a little bit of spoilers and all of them. Connected universe. But this Wednesday is going to be at 8:00 Eastern Time. Saltmarsh Legends on the Emporium. And other than that, I've got a few other things. But thank you so much, Kurt. As always, this is awesome.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, Al.
I echo everyone else's sentiments. I'm excited to see what happens. Feeling pretty confident. They say, it's fun to run adventures as written and to go on the path, but sometimes it's a little bit more fun to go off and see what's out there, even if there's trouble. So I am LS Wrights on Twitter. Find me on Instagram as well as Eldritch Knight. Again, thank you, Idle Champions. Hit me up on Twitter. Tell me what your formation is. Tell me what you got in your code. Also, Tuesday happens to be my birthday, so.
Ooh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
Mm-mm. You're getting old.
No.
I know, right? Noir.
Hey everybody, I'm Noir. You can find me all over the internet. Noir. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. I got a cursed sword. I'm about to lose buddy. I'm sad and I'm happy at the same time. I want to know what my blade does. Well. Would you like to know out of game what your blade does? Yeah.
See, he says yes. Everybody else is saying no. Everybody else is saying no.
Well, I'm not anybody else. All right.
I can just tell you
I don't care about your formations and your game.
No.
Just ritual cast identify and you're golden, right?
Just need a pearl. Arcade spell. Give me a pearl. Stupid divine caster. God will tell me what my blade does.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, once you use it as a people opener, after all.
Yeah, right? Yep, it is a bona fide people opener.
I do love the Thor aspect of it, where it's like nobody can pick it up. Apparently, no one else is worthy.
That's one version.
That's what Noir's running with, baby.
You know what? A wise man once said, many of the truths we cling to rely on a certain point of view. And you know what? That works. If you want to look at it from the Thor angle, we'll totally look at it from a Thor angle.
Can't even take it up the scabbard, baby. You're not worthy.
No.
That's me. I'm sorry. I'm taking up too much time.
All right. Thank you everybody for once again hanging out with us for another wonderful episode of Champions of Eclypsia. Things are getting a little screwy, things are getting a little crazy, but don't you worry. The darkness is very much creeping back in. We got something going on, and it's scary. I am Covenant, the Horrible Alchemist, also known as Kurt. I am the okayest DM in the world. No. You can find me here every Saturday DMing these wonderful people. On Tuesdays, you can find me, well, most Tuesdays, you can find me streaming Neverwinter with a couple of wonderful friends of mine. And Wednesday, you can find me in the afternoon being horrible at Apex. And on Friday, you can find me on my channel as well, playing Fallout 76. It's a good game. I don't care what you say. Anyway, so yeah, aside from that, that is us. I want to thank Idle Champions once again for sponsoring the show. I want to thank Sirenscape again for sponsoring Gilding Light. Satine, thank you once again for giving us this wonderful place to be able to put on this wonderful show that people seem to like. And as always, we would not be anywhere here on this without the wonderful man behind the curtain, DC Lacerre, running all our tech, modding our chat, and making sure that we keep our curse counter under the number. So that being said, friends, I hope to see you all here again next time. And I believe Monday is the next show that will be here on Gilding Light. It's a great show. You should check it out. And with that, we will say goodbye and see y'all later. Bye, friends.
Bye.